When people think of Ironborn power, they think of Pike, the Greyjoy castle, the sea stacks, the bridges over the waves, but Pike is only where the Ironborn rule from. Old Wyk is where they become Ironborn. Every king who wants legitimacy must go there. Every priest treats it as holy ground. Every ancient story begins and ends on that island. To understand the Ironborn, and especially what is happening to them now, we have to understand Old Wyk, because Old Wyk preserves memories far older than House Greyjoy itself. Hello everyone, and welcome to Storyteller's Codex. Here we delve deep into the rich lore of the Lord of the Rings, a song of ice and fire, and the vast worlds beyond. On this channel, we blend the soothing power of cutting-edge technology with the timeless knowledge of dedicated storytellers. That's us, the voices behind the Codex. Settle in, relax, and enjoy. Old Wyk is described in the world of Ice and Fire as one of the oldest continuously inhabited places in the Iron Islands. This alone matters. Pike is relatively young. Many Ironborn strongholds rose and fell, but Old Wyk remained. Ironborn kings, captains, and priests all trace authority back to Old Wyk. Even when the Greyjoys rule from Pike, their power is incomplete without recognition from Old Wyk. That tells us something important. Old Wyk predates political power. It represents something deeper, continuity. At the centre of Old Wyk is Naga's Hill. The Ironborn believe these are the bones of Naga the Sea Dragon, slain by the Grey King. The ribs form an arch. The jaw is large enough for captains to sit beneath. But these bones do not resemble dragon remains anywhere else in the series. Dragon bones are long, hollow, and fragile. Naga's bones are thick, curved, and weather-worn in ways that suggest age beyond memory. No Ironborn ever questions this. The site is sacred because it has always been sacred. This mirrors a larger ASO-IAF pattern. Places become holy long after their original purpose is forgotten. The Grey King is said to have ruled for 1,000 years, killed Naga, married a mermaid, and taught the Ironborn how to make iron weapons. This is not history, it's compressed memory. Across ASO-IAF, ancient figures blend multiple generations into a single mythic ancestor. The Grey King likely represents an entire era, perhaps even a different people entirely. What matters is that every Grey King story leads back to Old Wyk. That suggests Old Wyk was already important before Ironborn identity crystallised. The kingsmoot does not happen at Pike, it happens at Naga's Hill on Old Wyk. In A Feast for Crows, we see this clearly through Aaron Damphair's chapters. The location matters as much as the word spoken. The sea, the salt, the stone. All are invoked. Authority is not claimed, but is recognised. This reflects something ancient. Power must be anchored to place, not just blood or conquest, but ritual ground. Aaron Damphair experiences Old Wyk not as history but as presence. His drowning rituals mirror death and rebirth. He feels the drowned god most strongly on Old Wyk, especially at Naga's Hill. Importantly, Aaron never questions why Old Wyk is sacred. He simply knows that it is. This is exactly how ancient religious sites function in ESO-IF. Belief survives long after origin is lost. Pike is where Balon Greyjoy rules from. Old Wyk is where his rule becomes real. Balon never abolishes the kingsmoot. He never challenges Old Wyk's authority. Even a man obsessed with strength understands that ignoring Old Wyk would undermine him. This tension appears again with Asha Greyjoy, who understands the Ironborn need change, but knows that rejecting Old Wyk outright would doom her claim. Old Wyk resists reform by existing. Euron Greyjoy understands Old Wyk better than anyone. He does not worship there, he weaponizes it. At the kingsmoot, Euron turns ritual into spectacle. He uses dragon binder, theatrics, and fear to bend tradition to his will. This mirrors how ancient sacred sites are often corrupted in ASO-IAF, not destroyed, but hijacked. Euron does not reject the past, he uses it as leverage. Old Wyk shows us why Ironborn culture does not change. It is reinforced by place, by ritual, by repetition. The Ironborn do not ask whether their traditions still serve them, they ask whether they are being followed correctly. This is why even disastrous choices repeat. Old Wyk anchors identity, but also traps it. Old Wyk is not just a holy island, it is a memory made stone. It preserves beliefs older than the Ironborn themselves. It legitimizes kings, sanctifies violence, and resists change. And in the current story, those who understand Old Wyk, especially Euron Greyjoy, are able to bend the Ironborn to their will. Because the Ironborn do not truly follow Pike, they follow Old Wyk. If you are interested in The Lord of the Rings or A Song of Ice and Fire, click one of the links on the screen to dive deeper into the lore. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time.